Jellyfish, incredibly numerous and shockingly versatile. Even at their base function of cannon fodder munchies, they are key to our survival, but their worth rides the waves well beyond that. So today, we'll talk to squishy little globules of mobs and perhaps even make finding a certain mountain of fire the more easier for it. But let's get to it. Here's the poop. Jellies got themselves 50 health and give you a well shocking when you bonk them on the head at 5 damage a smack. So 2 swings means 10 health loss, and that seems pretty bad, right? Well, not when eating one restores 10 health and 10 hunger, meaning no net loss in the end, at least where health is concerned. This alone is what makes Jellyfish so flippin' good when it comes to on-the-fly food needs, but heck, we can do better. Sure, a stronger weapon means less hits, which means less damage taken, but it is always welcomed regardless, and once you get a snakeskin hat or dumbrella anyway, the electricity will course right through you with no questions asked. Yup, these things should honestly be your main source of food at all times, especially considering that they respawn every 60 seconds. However, I ask you suppress your urge for murder just briefly, because for some of the recipes we'll talk about today, we're gonna need live ones. So either scoop them up with a normal net used for bugs, or attach a trusty trawl net to do the deed itself. Although the latter is kinda a complete waste in my opinion. But here's something I rarely do, if ever actually. Highlight a cooked version of an available food in Don't Starve. Sure, munching on normal dead jellies while on the high seas is great and all, but if you have the chance, you can cook them for the same amount of restored health, but nearly double the hunger. Yes, there is plenty better out there, but with how easy it is to amass shocking numbers of jellyfish, 20 hunger apiece cannot be ignored. I digress. Time to see what else they can be made into, like Jelly Pops here. Jelly Pops restore 20 health, 12.5 hunger, and a whopping 0 sanity each, so there's nothing special there. But they come with the added bonus of lowering your temperature by 20 points over 10 seconds. It's lovely for some quick relief from the heat, be it in dry season or summer. And you're going to need a jelly friend, ice, twigs, and perhaps even a seaweed to whip them up for you, by the by. Oh, and in the end, these jelly pops can be traded to the octopus for a free sea trap too. But we'll talk about those very soon. As in, right flippin' now. Not only can you trade for one, but a single jellyfish is actually needed to craft these traps, along with other materials, of course. We've discussed these plenty. But remember, they're needed for trapping lobsters come dusk or night, and lobsters are actually used in some of the best recipes in the entire game, so the jellyfish's sacrifice is not in vain. Especially when you consider that jellyfish helped create one of the best ranged weapons in all of Don't Starve history, the 4-in-1 spear gun. Quickly now. A normal spear loaded will deal 102 damage a shot, which is already great. A poison-loaded spear, though, will deal the same amount of damage, but with the added bonus of applying poison and its effects to whatever you hit. A battle-ready spear rifle ups that to 127.5 damage with normal characters besides Wendy and Wes, but 159.4 with Wigfrid. And finally, an uncharged obsidian spear gun will sit at 153 base damage, but can reach upwards of 204 a shot, plus the fire damage on top of that. Incredible. And all from a single gelatinous fish of the sea and a couple things of bamboo. But it doesn't end there, folks. The particulate purifier would like its time in the spotlight, and perhaps it should have it, as not only is it easily craftable, well, once again, using but a single jellyfish to do so, it fully protects the player from poisonous gas that can come from the fumigating holes of the swampy islands, or the very same gassy holes of stingrays. You might be thinking, big whoop. But if you're hunting these stingrays for venom glands or farming flups, there is no better option available to you, I promise. However, there is one more craft that exceeds all expectations regarding our little shockers here, the Brain of Thought. It's something so unique and useful that it's amazing to me how easy it is to craft. But I imagine that some of you out there have zero clue what brainy matter is. And yes, you are allowed to take that as an insult. But to acquire some, you'll need to locate a brainy sprout among coral reefs to pick said matter off, but don't worry, it will grow back, and there's usually 2 brainy sprouts per world. The fashionable attire itself, though, grants access to every single recipe and crafting tab in the game if you haven't even prototyped it yet, or even are by a station like an obsidian workbench, for example. It may only have 4 uses total, but if you don't want to take a trip, you need something very fast and have the resources at the ready, or your stations are just inaccessible for whatever reason, then here you go. The Brain of Thought literally is the perfect thing for you. But even after all of that, there's still rainbow jellyfish, ain't there? Sure are. And believe it or not, there is a notable difference between the 2 species. Sure, eating a rainbow jelly will restore the same stats as a normal one, even when cooked. But consumption of a colorful shocker leads to a colorful aura for the player that lasts for about 2 minutes. This is incredibly useful for navigation, as even but a couple in your inventory are going to last you a couple nights. Oh, and did I mention that you'll be receiving 0 shock from mass murdering these rainbow things? That makes them even more efficient than their less prideful brethren. However, there is something spectacular that occurs every new moon. The Great Rainbow Jellyfish Migration. A new moon night will see a huge number of rainbow jellies spawning under the towering volcano, only for them to migrate to the center of the map once day breaks. This is very worthwhile information. Simply because if one has not located the Mountain of Fire yet, they could wait for a new moon to pass, follow the migration pattern later on, and then locate the volcano almost immediately. It's absolutely stunning just how useful these little guys are in almost every aspect, alive or dead. Couple things though before we go. You can dry jellyfish, but there's really no reason to do so. Unless you're a sadist and you like the sad faces over there. But dried jellies restore the same stats as cooked ones, and I don't know why. At least have dried ones restore a bit of sanity at least. Oh, and be mindful of how many you murder in short periods of time, because you can very well spawn in some company that can give you some trouble. But I know of floaty boat nights, don't worry. We'll talk about them very soon. But there you have it, everyone. The majestic nature of our newest friends, jellyfish. Truly, they are everything one could need to survive the high seas. And then some. And I do hope that you've learned the value of them today because of it. Thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.